Hi, everyone. I'm Stephanie Fossan. I'm the SVP of Product Strategy here at SocialFlow, and I'm looking forward to walking through our product roadmap with you today. So let's jump right into it. This represents our roadmap that we've been working on this year. As you can see, the stars in the sort of top flight of product releases there are items that we've actually already released. The other things you'll notice is that down below we have some things that are labeled A and B. A is like on the cusp of being released, and B is next up after that. So we'll talk about what's coming down the pike. And then in that third row there, we have things that we are researching that I want to talk through with you all as well. One thing you'll notice is that each project is tagged with a theme. Those include insights, auto, or control, and I'll talk about those in just a second. But we really are trying to sort of keep our roadmap focused on these three insights, and we can talk through what that means on the next slide. So in terms of the themes, we have automation, and that's, pretty basic, just using automation to make the publishing process more efficient for you all, and actually make it easier to access desired content. We know you all have really amazing archives of content that you may want to go back and find for various reasons. Let's say you want to recycle something or pull back a post so that you can take a look at what you did that made it so incredibly viral when it went out. And so we're trying to make that process easier for you. The next one is deeper insights. One of the big projects we've been working on this year is to add categorization, sort of like an auto tagging of categorizations and keywords to all of the posts that go through our software. So as that has come into fruition, you may have noticed it starting to pop up in some of the various places around our product. And we're basically now looking at all that data to try to figure out how we can share that back with you, rolled up in ways that could give you really deep reader insights, what your readers are interested in at particular times or during the holidays versus during the work weeks, or by geography, or how you benchmark perhaps in various different topics against the larger SocialFlow network. We're really excited about these capabilities, and I'll show you some of the work that we've started to do later on in the presentation. Another area is greater control. We want to provide for you as much control over the platform and your views of the content as possible. So you'll see several different features in the pipeline that line up with that type of capability. And we also are looking at adding some new roles and permissions and allowing for greater control over our social channels. Also in the greater control area is when we are trying to get you more for your buck in terms of all of the social content that you can put out vis-a-vis any particular piece of content. So we'll talk about that as well. So let's first talk about what we've gotten live this year. Hopefully you know about all of these, and I'm going to keep it fairly brief because I know our client services team is going to dig into some of these from a really sort of deeper basis and use cases and all of that. But I do want to highlight some of the things we're really excited about. At the beginning of this year, I want to say sort of February-ish, we launched our charting feature. Charts is a really easy, fast way to evaluate the performance of your social properties in an easy and visual way. It supports metrics like clicks, likes, shares, and follows. And my personal favorite feature, without getting too in the weeds, is that you can download these charts and pop them into your own deck to share your great results with others. So we think that's, we've been excited about that feature and the capabilities that it unleashes for quite a while, and hopefully you're using that now. And if not, you'll hear more about it shortly from our client services folks. The next project that we put out, feature that we put out, is day parting. This was launched in April in beta. It's a powerful new content scheduling feature. It gives you even more publishing flexibility and control. It allows you to set the pace and cadence of your optimized posts for specific recurring windows like time of day or weekend versus weekday. It's great for handling times of lower support. In other words, maybe when you're away over the weekend or overnights, or perhaps you have an all-staff meeting on Tuesdays from 3 to 4. It might be nice to have some different optimization rules during that time frame. We had been hearing from you all for a long time that this was something you were interested in. It's a big feature for us. As you can imagine, we wanted to really make sure that when we're talking about the core publishing features that we got this right. And it touches a lot of different areas of our product. So we're super excited about this. It's been a long time in coming. During the beta period, we actually did hear from some of our larger customers that they were creating so many rule sets across their accounts that it was actually hard to find them. So we built a fast follow-up build and put in search for those rule sets, as well as a way to filter them by editable, active, and unused rule sets. And we're hearing great feedback that our team, that your team members are really enjoying using those features. After we got day parting out, also in the theme of automation, we launched a couple of features that we called the quick features. We had heard from clients that when they wanted to edit a post, they didn't necessarily always need to or want to go all the way back into the compose window with all of its bells and whistles. So we created a really easy, quick interface. For instance, if you just want to edit the optimization settings for your posts, you can go into quick edit. And as you can see in this screenshot here, you can just quickly change those and move on. Additionally, in the publishing queue, we have a quick duplicate that allows you to easily duplicate the message with the same publishing options. Once again, a super streamlined interface to do just that. And we're hoping you're enjoying that feature. On the timeline, on the other side of your publishing page, we have launched something called Quick Recycle. And that is, similar in the sense, it's similar to Quick Duplicate in the sense that this post has now obviously gone out. Perhaps it's done particularly well, and you just want to set it to go back out again. So you can capture more of your audience to see that, because we all know that when you publish something to social, only a small percentage of your audience will be shown that content. So recycling is often a really good strategy to get more out of the content that you've already created. As I mentioned earlier, auto classification is an area that we're really excited about. It was last summer that we actually launched this ambitious project to gain more insights and share them with our clients around reader interests. And so now every post that's published through SocialFlow is run through our categorization engine, and that engine comes back with IAB content categories, media topic categories, and keywords, which for those of you who are deep into this includes both topic and entity words. And so those are basically the more detailed words that describe what a piece of content is about. So perhaps something is categorized as politics, US politics, Washington, D.C., or something like that, but the keywords might be Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. The benefits to auto classification are really numerous, and we're just really starting to dig into them. The first being making it easier to identify posts. Many of you use our labeling feature, and that's a fantastic way to be able to go back and find particular posts on a particular issue or however you have labeled them. But sometimes those labels don't get used, and this auto classification enables easier search for particular posts. So I talked to a client a few months back. They were saying that with every new ransomware story, they wanted to go back and be able to find their own old ransomware stories to potentially recycle or re-up in some way. This new classification system makes that a lot easier, especially once we launch our enhanced search that allows you to search against those classifications and keywords. Additionally, we're really excited about the deeper audience insights that we expect to be able to give as you roll things up by category or keyword, and also auto tagging, which is something that I will explain momentarily. So the first way we have surfaced these categories and keywords is in the single message report. As you may have seen at this point, if you go into a single message report, you can see those IAB content categories as well as media topics categories and keywords. And here's a great example of a post that we put out through SocialFlow about our latest white paper. We then heard from you all that, wow, that's really cool. We like seeing the content categories there, but how come we can't see our own manually curated labels? And so we decided to add those as well to the single message report. And so those are two recent builds. And that's really just the very beginning of us getting into these categories and keywords. One thing that I am actually excited to announce today is that we have now added those categories and keywords to our messages report page. And so actually I can show you that. So here we are in the messages report for the SocialFlow account. And I'm actually going to go back in time a little bit farther because we don't have as many messages as you all do, as big content purveyors that you are. So I'm just going to add a few more there so I can show you how this works. And what you can now do, if you go into this little menu area here, and you can pick and choose your various metrics that you want to see for your each individual piece of content. And now, as I mentioned, you can add keywords and IAB content categories. Let's say I think it's getting a little squeezy in there. So I'm going to get rid of comments, shares, and likes so that we have a little bit more room to look at it. But as you can see, each of these topics has come up with a content category. So we're really excited about that build going out. And then the next thing that we're working on, which should be coming out really shortly and is currently in testing, is an enhanced search capability that is going to let you jump into and sort of find topics based on both category and keyword and also other items. So let's see how that works. We can go in, let's say I want to search on posts that have the keyword of Google Analytics. Here's the keyword. I click on it, hit return, and lo and behold, the two posts that have content that was that had the keywords Google Analytics are now coming up. Another exciting thing that we can do that same thing with content categories. So let's say I wanted to see content categories that were around holidays. I can go into the IAB content category and see by just typing in holiday, I can see the categories that are there that have holiday in them. In this case, it's events and attractions, and then national and civic holidays. And I can click on that and it will search and come up with the 3 posts that we posted around the holidays to remind people to get their queues ready to make sure that the posts are being optimized while they're out of the office. One more area that I think is really cool is you can also now search by user for posts that they created, published, or edited. So Maura Daly is our SocialFlow marketing guru. So I'm going to see the posts that she created, clicking on return. And here are all the posts that she created over time in SocialFlow. One last one that I actually think is very cool is you can also search by URL. So I know that we put out a variety of content around the white paper that we published earlier this year. So I'm going to copy that URL, go back into the search and paste it in there and do a link search. And lo and behold, we can see that we had 4 different posts that went out regarding that white paper. So it's just really powerful. There's even a lot more there than I showed you. But we're really excited about sort of the control and the ability to find what you want that this will give you.